Well, welcome back. As artists, we're often going to exhibitions and events to gather lots and lots of ideas. And just at the weekend, we went to Liverpool. At the moment, in Liverpool, they've got the Liverpool Biennial 2018, but we want to tell you about a review of an exhibition that we saw. And it's not part of the biennial, but it's a separate thing. So if you want to see it, you need to go and see it soon because it's going to be closing shortly. So hence the urgency for telling you about this. And I'd also like to introduce Roy, my husband and fellow artist, who's going to tell you all about that special exhibition.
Oh, that isn't very good. It's not the right height. Just got to tilt that up a bit. I'm going to talk to you about a trip that Lucy and I made to Liverpool to see an exhibition at Liverpool Tate. It's the Visit Liverpool catalogue here, and on the front cover we've got a picture of Egon Schiele, and he was one of the artists the show was subject of, and the other artist was a photographer called Francesca Woodman, maybe a little bit less known to you, and she was shown alongside him. And the show is called Life in Motion, and it's on until mid-September, I think September the 23rd, and this is our review of it. Despite being born many years apart, Francesca Woodman and Egon Schiele had many things in common. They both concentrated, particularly in their early career, on self-portraits, Francesca Woodman almost exclusively. And they both died relatively young. Francesca Woodman, sadly, from taking her own life, and Egon Schiele was a victim of the Spanish flu that killed so many after the First World War. His work in the early days is very sharp and hard and angular, and is well explored by the exhibition. Of course, he's known for his erotic art, and there's plenty of examples of that too. But there's a lot of passion and charge just about his portraits as well. Francesca Woodman is a complete contrast to this. Her images are soft and round. She concentrates on her own body. Often she's nude in those pictures. Sometimes she's wearing retro clothing, even for the period there. And in many ways, an echo of modern times. She was working in the 80s or late 70s, early 80s, before the onset of the digital technology's ubiquitousness that we see in cameras, camera phones and so on. And yet she was doing many of the things that you might see, say, Natalie de Biche doing today, but doing so with analogue media. She was using her own body, but also trying to explore some of the ideas of the female nude in art, but from a very personal point of view. Both were using themselves as a model or their friends quite extensively, and this is quite common in the case of young artists even today. What did I get out of the exhibition? I love the contrast between the two artists. I also love the similarities. I like the way that we were comparing artists from two different eras, and yet they were trying to express in many ways similar concepts using similar tools. Schiele is obviously the more famous artist, a pupil of Klimt. You can see that in his early style. Extremely skilled artist, starts off with a very sharp angular style, goes into a more rounded style as he gets older. He goes on to paint portraits, he goes on to try and start to make a living from landscapes. His full creativity, his full skill set, we shall never know. With Francesca Woodman, died when she was 22. It's very difficult with her work to ever know what she could have produced, but she would undoubtedly have been one of the leading photographers of her age, and now we look back on her and wonder what we missed. On the whole, this was a fantastic exhibition, well sited, easily accessible at Tate Liverpool, and I would recommend it to anyone to go and see them, be they photographer or artist or just generally interested in the fine arts. The two in contrast and in combination, it's quite a brilliant piece of curation, and Tate deserve a lot of credit for doing that. So that's it. That's a very brief review and a few pictures that you might see out of the books and the catalogues that we took away from it, not from our own photos. And I wholeheartedly recommend you going. Thank you.